I'm going to be ripping off the brakes, the stock brakes off the 350Z. You saw in the previous video, I had all the Brembo calipers all powder coated, and I reassembled them, got them all back together, and got the nice pretty decals on it. So now, taking off the stock brakes, I'm going to be putting the Brembos on there with the Stoptech rotors. Coming right up. Yeah. You are tuned in to Ryan Campbell, Soup to Nuts. How'd you like that for an intro? Huh? Leave a comment and let me know how you liked it, or didn't like it, or had neutral feelings about it. Didn't really care at all. Let me know your opinion. Your opinion matters. Here on Soup to Nuts. So I'll take you around. I'm going to kind of give you a brief, quick synopsis of the steps that I'm going to be taking to get this job rolling on the road. I mean, actually, it's used for stopping, but you're catching my drift, right? Before I show you everything, go over everything, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe. Right here. Please. Please. My self-esteem is wrapped up in whether you subscribe or not right now. It is. Alright, thanks. Appreciate that, pal. Alright, let's give you a little walk around, a little reach around, you know what I mean? Okie dokie, so you see, stock brakes here. And stock brakes there. There's stock brakes here. Same thing up there too. I don't need to go there. So, first thing I'm going to do is try to drain as much fluid as possible. So, I'm going to start on this wheel. I'm going to open up that the bleeder screw here. Open her up. I'm going to hook her to a little bottle, you know, to catch everything, and pump the brakes. So once I get as much fluid out of there as I can, I'm probably going to do each other wheel. Typically, when you bleed brakes, you go from the wheel furthest away from the brake master cylinder to the closest. So that's why I'm starting the rear right. So I'll do rear right, rear left, then front right, front left. Once I get as much fluid out as I possibly can, then basically I'm going to take all the calipers off. Probably do one wheel at a time. To take the caliper off, take the rotor off, and disconnect the line. I'm going to do that at each wheel. So I'll probably show you just me doing one wheel, just so you could, you know, you'll see the process of taking it off, and then I'll just repeat it off camera, and then I'll show you the process of putting the new stuff on. So first thing, I'll show you some bleeding. I'm gonna make you bleed, baby! Now, so you saw basically me bleeding the rear passenger wheel. I'm going to go around and do the other three wheels, do pretty much the same thing. What I did, you didn't see on camera, I went into the car, I was actually pumping the brakes, pushing on the brake pedal. So that kind of forces the situation along. So I'm going to do the other three wheels, and then next thing you're going to see is I'm probably going to start with maybe the front left wheel. Because that's a little bit closer to my tools. Every once in a while you need an extra tool that, you know, sometimes things get stuck, and so it'll kind of give me a gauge of exactly, precisely which tools I need. I know basically which ones I need, but sometimes you need one or two stupid extra ones because you run into a little bit of an issue. So next you'll see me time-lapse taking apart the front driver's side brakes. I'm going to be taking off the line. I'm going to be taking off the calipers, and the pads should come with them, and I'm going to be taking off the rotors as well. So you're going to see time-lapse of me taking that all apart, and then if that goes well, I'm just going to do the other three off camera, because you'll get the gist of basically the first one. The rest of them should be the same as the first one. It's the same thing I'm doing with the bleeding. So there's no sense of repeating the same crap over and 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 over. Let's get her done! Stage 1 complete, sir! Got the damn brakes off. This is front driver. You can see the caliper and the old rotor there. This is rear driver. That's the inside. And down there is a caliper, old rotor. Rear passenger, caliper rotor. You can also see the brake line down there. And passenger front. There is the caliper. And there is the rotor. That's the new rotor, the Stoptech I already took care of. And that's the other Stoptech for the front. So I cleaned the fronts up. I'm in the process. It has a tiny bit of surface rust. So I'm using this guy here, angle die grinder, with an abrasive pad. It's good for taking off just like surface stuff. If you have issues with your rotors, like if there's grooves in them or major lips or major issues with the rotors, you either need to take them to a shop that has a metal lathe to get them cut down, or you have to buy new ones. But for like surface rust and a little bit of stuff like this, you know, this will clean up all the surface rust and take care of that issue. A lot of time cars, when they're sitting outside for a while, if you don't drive them every day or multiple times a week, you know, depending also on your climate, but you will get a little bit of surface rust on steel rotors, which most cars nowadays, most cars in general have steel rotors until you get into, you know, high-end vehicles like Porsches and Ferraris, stuff like that. And so I'm going to do a video of me cleaning this up. I'm going to play music over it because that puppy right there, you can't see too well, that puppy right there, compressor, gets pretty gosh darn noisy. So I'm going to play music, and these are I got the one rear rotor here and the other rear rotor there. So I'm going to clean these up, and then we'll get to putting some stuff back together. Alright, so this is a close-up after I cleaned it up. This is what she looks like, all cleaned up. You don't have to worry about getting in here like where my thumb is, because that brake pad doesn't touch it. It doesn't really come into play as far as performance of the brakes, etc., etc. So, that's what the girl looks like. Time to start throwing things to get the I put the passenger side, the caliper and the rotor and everything, and brake line, replace the brake line with the braided stainless. I'll show you the braided lines I have. I just want to do one wheel off camera just to make sure I get everything situated and know all the steps exactly. I was taking my time, being careful. So I'll show you that wheel, then I'll show you the lines, and then we're going to time lapse the front driver's side after that. It will be succeeding that. Alright, so here we have the girl in all of her glory. So you see the rotor that I cleaned up on there. You see the nice, beautiful blue Brembo caliper. Got the new pads in there that you saw in the previous video. You see the banjo bolts here that bolts the brake line to the back. I got the braided brake line in. I got it all mounted up. I don't know if you can see it back there. It's kind of a hard angle. Yeah, you can kind of see it back there. And then got it hooked into the hard brake line, which is right here. So, that's the girl! She's so pretty! I got these from Z1, these lines. Obviously, there's 3 now because one's on the car. So the 2 shorter ones are the rear. I haven't fit the rear up, so hopefully they do fit okay. The front fit pretty good. I was happy with the fitment. It was slightly different than the factory. This nut, getting it to fit up was a little trickier than factory. But I made it happen. Your boy made it happen. So these are the braided stainless lines. So basically, they're better than the factory rubber lines because they don't expand and contract like the rubber does, and they also deal with heat a lot better. And for those who don't know, brakes generate a ton of heat. Gets hot, I mean hot as hell, especially if you're on the track or something like that. Ton of heat. So basically it's braided stainless, but it is coated in, I guess, some kind of a PVC or a plastic for abrasion purposes. And, you know, just, you know, cut your hands, also to protect the actual line itself. It's for protection for you and for the vehicle. So that's the braided lines. So now we're about to do the driver's wheel and time lapse. Alright, so I ran into a bit of an issue. The rotor down there, that guy, bigger than stock, doesn't fit with this dust cover, this angle here. It hits this and it doesn't go far enough back. So it like it barely gets onto the studs. It gets on a little bit on the studs, but it doesn't go far back enough. So I'm not trying to take this whole entire hub apart and go absolutely insanely crazy. I'm just going to take an angle grinder and just basically cut this lip off. Problem solved! So I'm going to do video of that because, I mean, angle grinding anything makes for incredible footage. So there's the cut off. That's the scrap now. It's scrap metal, and got it all cleaned up. I did use the grinding blade to kind of try to get as much of the sharp edges off as possible. It's still a little bit sharp, but you know it should be good enough for if you know I won't cut myself by grazing or anything. So this is the driver's side, and that's the passenger side. Same deal, same thing. You got the scrap metal down there. So now, the next step is to put the rear brakes on. So I'm going to time lapse, throw the... Sorry about that. Oops, battery died. So next step, I'm going to do a little time lapse-a-roo, and then I'll bring you the final product. Got her all done. So this is the front driver. You can see the braided line snakes around. It kind of comes from here and it actually goes behind the strut or the knuckle. It actually does go behind the strut as well back here. And then it comes out right here, goes up, and this is where it connects to the hard line. So I got the braided line in there. And got the rears done as well. The rears, I got the braided line. Comes in the back here, and it just goes pretty straight to the hard line here. So, got her all done and party looking. Same thing on the other side too. I don't need to show both sides. It's the same exact crap. So, that's the pretty girl there. It's gonna stop on a dime. And there you have it. You have it. Now! Brakes are on, the Brembos, and they look gorgeous. So that went pretty smooth. No major issues, tiny little things along the way, but went pretty good. Pretty good. So you saw that. So next video coming up is probably going to be wiring on the car. A little itch. I actually already did most of the wiring and filmed it as well. It's going to have to be a next video at this point because, I mean, I can't release 2 videos at the exact same second. I mean, hypothetically, I actually kind of could probably, but I'm not going to. Not going to. So I got a wiring video coming up. I also filmed a shop tour at Dynamic Performance, and I'm going to try to throw a few extra things in there for them. They're the company, the people, the folks that did my intercooler piping. So that's actually still at the powder coater, but the fabrication was done at Dynamic Performance. I've known them for years. They're great guys. So I did a shop tour there. So that should be a fun video coming up soon. It's gonna take a little bit longer to edit than a regular video. So I don't know where it's gonna fit in the timeline, but got wiring coming up, got Dynamic Performance shop tour coming up. I got what else I got? Interior. I'm going to be putting the interior together. That's the next actual work on the car, for the most part, is putting all the interior back together and in. I still got to get the radio to get that in. I got to, put all the interior for the gauges, the gauge housing, and plug all those wires and finish that section of the wiring up. But pretty much all the wires already ran and all that crap. So interior is the next big bulk of the work. Hopefully my intercooler piping will also be done soon, so that way I could put that in and then also start buttoning up the front end of the car to get very close to startup time. Still got to do all the fluids. Obviously you didn't see me put the brake fluid in the reservoir. I did pump out everything when I took the old brakes, the stock brakes off. So I got to fill that up with fluid, and I'm going to use Motul brake fluid, and so I gotta fill that out, bleed that out. I gotta bleed the clutch line, fill that out, bleed the clutch line. I gotta fill the trans. I gotta put the engine oil in. I gotta put power steering fluid in, and probably forgetting obviously radiator fluid. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a new special custom process. Radiator fluid coolant. I gotta put that in. I might actually start the car just to see if it starts up before I put the coolant actually through the system. I'm not gonna run it for a while, obviously, but I also have to put gas in the car because I pumped all the old fluid. I keep screwing up everything here. I pumped out all the old gasoline out of the tank when I did the pump and all that stuff. So I'm waiting until I get to the exact start time so I have the freshest gas possible, because for those of you who don't know, once gas gets pretty old, because most pump gas nowadays has alcohol, a little bit of alcohol in it, and the alcohol evaporates and the gas doesn't ignite properly, and there's issues with that. So I want nice fresh gasoline. Gasoline. That's what's coming very shortly for you. And after the car started, all that good crap material, all that's back together, I'm going to do a little body work at that point while I'm waiting for the tuner. I don't know how long that backup's going to be, waiting for it to get tuned. To go vroom, 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 bitches, vroom, vroom. So stay tuned for all that crap. Stay tuned for more idiocy. And don't forget, please subscribe down here. Give me a like, comment. Please share this on all your socials. Tell a friend to tell a friend that you found a stupid idiot who cracks a joke here and there. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And with that all being said, don't forget to subscribe. And hit the bell. Hit the damn notification bell. With that all being said, don't forget